In this session, let's talk about a very interesting object in JavaScript function, which is arguments object. Now, this is very high level of flexibility in terms of using the arguments from a function, which I don't think is available in a lot of other programming languages, where we can create a function. We don't have to pass any arguments to that function when we create it. But when we use that function, when we call that function, we can pass any number of arguments and still use it inside the function. This seems magical, especially if you're coming from Java background, where everything is very hard and fast. Let's see an example. So what I'm saying is we can create a function, say ABC, like this, and at the time of calling the function, I can provide any number of arguments, and they will still be used inside the function. Now, this is possible because of a very special object. The name of the object is arguments object, which is nothing but an array. By default, JavaScript creates an object by using these arguments, which we can fetch by using arguments of 0, arguments of 1, the way we fetch values out of an array in the same way. So for example, if I do console.log arguments of 0, I'm going to get the first value that is being passed. And similarly, if I do console.log 1, we'll get the second value that's being passed. So if we run the program, we can see 10, 203, which are nothing but the first and second argument. Now, how can we fetch all the values from arguments? Obviously, we'll create a for loop. So over here, we can say let I equal to 0. So starting with the 0th index in array, which is nothing but arguments object. Then I less than arguments dot length I plus plus. So we are actually navigating from 0th element to the last element of this arguments array. And then we can display it in the console by simply doing arguments of I. So when we run this program now, we are getting hold of all the arguments which are being passed by user.
Hey there. If you're finding this video helpful, you'll love our full online course on JavaScript with node.js. It goes even more in depth and covers everything you need to know. Check out the link in the description to enroll and take your skills to the next level.
Now, can we think of some use case for this? When can this be useful? Let's say we want to create a function to calculate sum. Let's say I want to create a function where user can pass any number of digits, numbers to a function, and I want to calculate the sum of those and return to the user. So over here, while creating the function, I will not pass any arguments. I'll let JavaScript arguments object do that job for me, and all we can do is say create a sum variable at the beginning, and over here just use it to add all the elements or parameters or arguments that user is passing to this function to sum them. So basically we'll just do sum plus equal to arguments of I, and at the end we can return the value of sum. So in this case, say we have 3 values that user is passing. At the first iteration, I will be 0, so the value of arguments of I will be 10. Sum has initial value 0, so 0 plus 10 will be 10. Next time 203 will be picked up here, will be added to the existing value. Then 20 will be picked up, will be added to existing value. User can add any number of values, and basically we need to show it in the console. So when we run it again, we'll see the output. So now we don't have to bother about any arguments when we create a function. We can let arguments object figure out that and let user pass whatever values user want to pass when they call the function. Okay, when we rerun this program, we have these two outputs, which is nothing but the sum of all these numbers here. Very interesting. Arguments object in JavaScript function. Now, one word of caution here. This object, this arguments object, can only be used in this fashion for regular functions. There is a concept of arrow functions, which we will see it in future, where this arguments object is not available like this. It is available in certain way, which we will see when we'll reach to that arrow functions part.
Thanks for watching. If you want to dive deeper into JavaScript with node.js, don't forget to explore our complete online course. Click the link in the description to get started today. Plus, subscribing to our channel ensures you won't miss out on more valuable content in the future. See you in the class.